We are outnumbered by machines. Humans have a strength that cannot be measured.
This thing is something we've never seen before.
My name is Marcus Wright.
You think you're human?
I am human.
I know he's not the enemy.
If we stay the course, we are dead! We are all dead!
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another episode of UPRE. What you saw was the beginning of Terminator Salvation, the fourth movie in this Terminator franchise. Wow. We went from Terminator all the way to the 80s, and now we're in the 2000s. You think this movie's going to get better because now we're post-apocalyptic. We're shooting up humans, and we're shooting up Terminators. I can't wait to talk about this movie. Let's, as James would say, start the show. You know what I love about that intro? There's a part of that where Vic is like, and he must have known. It must have been foreshadowing. He must have known he was about to watch this movie. But let's go ahead. I'm not going to be the only one that's going to talk about this movie. We have some extra hosts with me today. This is Mike Knox, who's been on UPRE so much lately that I think I am going to put him in the intro if I decide to make a new intro. And you were frozen for a second, man. I didn't know if you were channeling your inner Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, even though it's the wrong movie, or you wanted to let it go. Fresh out of Dallas, Texas, WrestleMania. We'll talk a little bit about that later, or maybe on a wrestling edition. Let's bring in, I don't even know how to pronounce this, but Vic, what's going on, my man? How you Huchin?
Huchin.
Oh, right.
Human machine. Yeah.
I feel slow, and at the same time, that was your inner round of corniness with that one. I mean, what was that? What is that? All right, let's go ahead and talk about it. Terminator 4, Terminator Salvation, and some people might want a salvation from this movie because, cringy a little bit for me. I know there's a lot of controversy behind this movie with Christian Bale throwing a little hissy fit backstage, but there might be some things I like about this movie. There might be some things the gentlemen to my right and below like about this movie. We're going to start off with the mix of machine and human down there. What did you think about this movie as far as scenes that you liked? Possible quotes as I read some of these comments. Like this person here says, "This will always be the movie to ruin a big plot twist in the trailer for me. It's honestly one of the very few things I can remember of this movie." Smart person there, J.D. Smith, the guitarist.
Well, after watching all the other three movies back to back, you can see that there was a high demand for the content. There was a high demand for Terminator. I got a feeling that maybe the budget didn't actually fit in for Arnold Schwarzenegger, so they just fit it in as however they could. And they pretty much just tried to tell the story of why Kyle was sent back. You know, and I feel like it was filler. Like it was one of those things that like could have been on a show, and they probably did do it on a show. You know what I mean? Because there's more to this stuff, to this content. Like if you look around, you see that there's a whole bunch of different versions. There's Christmas versions. Like I like people wanted it. People wanted it. You know what I mean? Like if it's, and the reality of the situation is that it still has some of it has nothing to do with the first two movies. So that's what kind of makes it a little disappointing.
Was it a money grab?
Yeah. Yeah. But so that on that aspect, like I appreciated all the blow-ups, all the guns, all the shootings, all the machines and the the silent little black girl that came in at the end, you know, clutch with the bombs, like boom, you know what I mean? Like all of that, like I appreciate it. I was entertained by it. But more than anything, this movie made me feel nostalgic. It made me go back to my 20s. It made me think of, because John Connor used a Sony Vaio UX micro PC. Oh my God, man. And look, here's the thing. Let me show you. Because that computer was just so sexy, man. It really was. I wanted that so bad. But we gotta remember
the sexiest computer of all time is Johnny 5.
We're talking about late 2009, right? So like that computer right there was just something else, man. Like it was handheld. It was right before phones. It had everything inside it, and it had a touchscreen. Oh my God! And it looked just like a sidekick. The computer was fire. Oh man, I could not wait to get my hands on one of those, but I ended up going a different route. But anyway, like when I saw that in the movie, oh man, I just popped. I popped. That was a WrestleMania pop for me, because that computer was amazing back then. We're talking about 2009. That thing cost maybe about $1,200 back then. People are selling it on eBay for about $700 now.
Fun fact, Vic. I'm sorry, Eugene, how the hell you pronounce it? Human and Machine. My father-in-law helped build that and created that device.
The Vaio?
Along with other, like once he left them, he went to another tech company and worked on their stuff as well.
Nice. That is hot.
Yeah.
That is hot. But I mean, like, you know, the unfortunate thing about those type of devices is that phones just took over.
Mm-hmm. That's what happened. That and the Milo phone, when you had the video
seeing
phones from home.
Seeing that whole thing there was just amazing. It brought back some memories to that time, like just to seeking that level of versatility and being able to do stuff like that. Like that stuff was real cool back then. Now you can do all that with the phone, but you know, it was cool. But other than that, like I because I like sequels, you know, and like, you know, Chris is mad at me already because I'm being super positive because I'm always a sunflower, right? So, but because I like sequels, I like their attempt at this one. I really do. Now, I'm actually curious to know, and I'm going to wait till Chris says, you know, all the stats and all the info. I'm curious to know how much money they made, because, you know, I'm sure you know, like how much money they spent. So I'm curious to see how much money they made.
I think I showed that last week, didn't we? I think it ventures to say that it made less than it made more than Genesis, but it didn't make that much. I don't think it made that much.
You're right.
If I can remember, but Chris is going to find it.
And then they went and made 2 more.
I thought there's 3 more. There's 3 more.
There's 3 more.
It's 3. It's only 2 more? No, hold on. We got. Yeah, you're right. I apologize. Genesis and okay.
Well, let's see.
Did we count the TV show? Okay. I like the TV show on Fox.
Mind you, like there's 2 seasons, and I'm kind of interested in taking a look at that. To be honest,
I was a fan. So I guess that's my cue, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. Last week I said, hey, I like all these movies. It's a movie, right? I'm a piggyback off of Vic. You go to a movie, like I said last week, you go to a movie to do one thing, to be entertained. I must have been really high or really drunk watching this movie in the movie theater. Because as I sit here and watch it today, my God, that movie is fucking horrible. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why. Yes, action scenes when we got them were there. Chris dogs the Batman for lack of action. Where the fuck was the action in the Terminator movie in this one? It was so far in between to have such a big scale. To have, like, I go back to when they first what's my man who passed away? May he rest in peace. Kyle Reese. I was gonna call him what was the movie he played in? He played in Star Wars, but he also played in he was also the boy who got kidnapped in Reservoir Dogs, not Reservoir Dogs, Alpha Dogs. He played Jesus Christ, I forget, it didn't come to me later, but when they first get up with the Terminator in this movie, Sam Marcus, that scene where the machine comes through and the way the buildings look, I'm looking like, oh, this is going to be dope, right? They set it up where you don't know, like he was a murderer who was on death row, then he comes back, the setup was so good, right? You bring in Christian Bale, like y'all said, fresh off of, the Batman films, to make this such a big deal. Let's make this epic. Problem was there's no Arnold. I think this is why this movie flopped. Okay. I know people get tired of seeing Arnold. Old ass, young ass, CGI ass, still Arnold, right? He brings something special to the franchise.
He was in this movie.
Well,
it was just the Madame Tussauds version.
Yeah. But just sitting here and just watching this movie, I just didn't feel it. The script was off. They reset things. I was excited for this movie. I remember going to see this movie, and Bear Delaware, my boy, excited for this movie. I mean, I'm just, this is going to be great. And then because it's just everything's around this movie had to be great. It's different. You look at it now. They're in a post-apocalyptic year of 2018. We're in 2022. I still ain't got no hoverboards, no flying cars, and no moving sidewalks unless I'm going to Universal Studios. So I don't know where this movie was going, why it went the direction that it went to, whole some of that stuff. I just didn't like it. Just all these years later, I don't know what happened from watching it in the movie theater, where I actually thought it was pretty good. Talking about it last week, I think I even said this is probably my favorite movie since the second one. This might be up there with freaking Dark Fate as being one of the worst to me. I like 3 better than this. I just did not feel this movie didn't give me the action that I want from it. It's an action movie, which means if I'm going to enjoy the movie, I don't have to rip it for the act. I don't have to rip it for the story plot. Give me good action scenes. And they were so far in between, it didn't keep my attention. And this is coming from me who likes everything. Just wasn't a big fan of the movie, Chris. Executive consultant on you.
I mean, this movie had action, and I don't know what you were watching. I saw action, man. I saw things blow up. I saw bullets flying. I saw hanging on Terminators. I actually was like, wow, the action looked really, really good to me. Right? And let me tell you what I saw. Let me tell you about all this great action I saw in this movie. Great action I saw in this movie, man. All right, so first, we saw a Terminator who's so dumb that they decided to walk onto a rope and get strung and hung. And all he could do, instead of shooting the bullets to try to get himself released, is kill humans. But he's a Terminator. That's what he does, right? But hey, smart. Great thinking about this. I saw a big-ass robot try to grab other humans, see his targets, and fail to kill his targets, even though he was chasing them for what felt like 45 minutes on bridges and everything like that, before John Connor says, fine, hey, let's extract these guys, right? Because we got to get to our plot, right? I think we forgot that we have a plot in this movie. So I love that. I love that scene. I love John Connor going to save, by his own lonesome, his father, right? Because he's the biggest badass of them all. Yet without his bat suit, he infiltrates this place, right? Not very well, Hardak, but he infiltrates this place, and then a T2 comes out of nowhere, and I'll call him T2 because that's what I want to do. T2 comes out of nowhere and chases John Connor around and Mr. Data, the android guy, around for another 30 freaking minutes, right? And just for them to finally destroy the thing. And then he decides, Mr. Data, the android guy, decides to give him his heart. This movie was so touchy-feely. I was touchy right here because it was good to see that they started the movie by showing that he was going to become a robot, only for you to find out that he was a robot infiltrated by Cyberdyne or whatever the hell you want to call them. I mean, what a plot twist. I'm glad the trailer didn't say anything about that at the beginning. You are absolutely right, J.D. Smith, the guitarist. I don't understand why they did that. But you know what? This is just a precursor, because you'll find out ever since Terminator 3, actually 2, they like doing this in all of their trailers. They like spoiling all their shit in all their trailers, right? Stay tuned for Terminator 4. 5. They spoil everything. Arnold's no longer a bad guy. He's a good guy now. Now we have he has to go and save people because nobody's going to be alive. Now we have this robot who's a human who's actually going to be a robot. Spoil that. John Connor is actually now a villain. Spoil that. I'm like, they're always doing the shit in the trailers. I don't understand it. But this movie did have action.
Arnold's been a good guy since the second movie, though.
That is true. But in the second movie, I think we said this on this very show. They were like, it would have been better if they did not show that he was going to be a good guy right away.
The trailer,
yeah, in the trailer, because they like spoiling shit in the trailer. But it wasn't really that much to spoil in this movie because this movie said everything it needed to say for itself. This movie cost $200 million to make. It made $125 million in America alone, but $375 million worldwide. So it did recuperate. It broke about even, but it still was considered a
technically
flop.
It's a flop.
It was a flop in Hollywood.
It was a flop.
And here is the reason why it was a flop. This movie was supposed to start off a new threequel of movies, a new trilogy of movies for the Terminator franchise. But this movie sucked so bad at Batman and Robin did. And what I mean by Batman and Robin, they decided to Will Smith, they decided to end the second one and end the third. This is what happened, right? Because I only say Will Smith because Will Smith apparently it got told he can't make some movies because of what happened at the Oscars. So they decided to not make any more movies because of what happened at Terminator Salvation. Yeah. Why was Christian Bale trying to generate his own Batman without the bat suit? I don't understand this. There was a scene where he was like, "What are you?" And I was like,
"It did. I'm not wearing any hockey pants."
It was the corn in this movie. Shout out to Vic. The corn in this movie was ever prevalent. She was like, "What should I tell the men in case they ask where you were?" I'll be back.
That shit was hilarious.
Get out of my face. Get out of my face.
Rolling right there.
It's like, are you trying to be a comedy or you're not? And Kyle Reese, hey, I'll give this. He was much more of a badass in this movie than he was in Terminator 3. All right, he was a little bitch in Terminator 3. He wasn't as much of a bitch in this one, but he was a young kid, right? So, whatever. Hey, this is quick. Where's E Boogie when you need her, right? We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about final thoughts as well as thumbs up and thumbs down. Find out what we're reviewing on Thursday. So help me God, Vic. I can't believe you have me watching this movie. And find out what we're reviewing the next Terminator movie next Tuesday. We'll be right back. You're watching a popular review.
Are you running?
Yeah, I am. I'm running for office.
Suggest that you're an unlikely candidate.
I think at this point we've kind of jumped the shark on the whole likely candidate thing.
Buffy is the gun!
Dorothy Goodwin, being hailed as a hero.
Oh my.
He is a true hero. She saved me.
You're a gun hero now.
Are you serious? That's what it's about.
That's the bullshit you picked, Vic. That's the bullshit you picked.
Hey, it just came out.
My whole life I prepared my son to lead humanity in the fight against the machines.
John. Hi, Mom.
How can you be here?
What are you doing?
John!
What have they done to my son?
Not machine. Not man. I'm more. Whatever they did to John, we need a reversal.
Exciting stuff coming up in the coming Thursday and Tuesday here at UPRE. I can't wait to talk about The Hater, right? Which apparently is only on Amazon Prime for $6.99. Thank you, Vic. But The Hater, which starting off our I know I can download it. Yes, I know. Blah 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 blah. But are starting off our political satire month of movies, and we're going to start off with nothing but The Hater, and I can tell you that I have nothing but hate when it comes to this movie, The Haters. Also, tomorrow, immediately after Moon Knight, we have See the Superior along with Bad Guy Jack, and I don't know what his name is going to be tomorrow, but Vic, as they talk about Moon Knight Episode 2. Looking forward to that one. And, of course, on our Instagram coming up on Thursday, we have UPR Battles, which is Mighty Mouse versus Underdog. That is on Unpopular Review on our Instagram as an Instagram exclusive with their special guest referee, which is going to be Big Daddy Cool. But we're over here talking about the fantastic movie known as Terminator Salvation, and we're going into our final thoughts, which will start with Hushin, or however you want to pronounce your name. We'll start off with you. Thumbs up, thumbs down. What you like?
Well, it's tough. It really is. You know why? Because there are things that I liked in the movie. Now, would I recommend it? I don't know. That's the thing. Because there's, I like the attempt. I like the attempt. It clearly was a money grab. I like the attempt. There's certain things that are unfortunate. I mean, from the third movie, there's a bunch of inconsistencies. So I feel like you got to kind of forgive that with the rest. You know what I mean? Therefore, it all depends on where you're at with that. So, like, I'll give it a thumbs up for the reason that, like, if you wanted more Terminator, here's a little bit more Terminator. So now let's see what the next movie is. But here's the difference now. I was way more excited to see Terminator 3. And then I was excited to see this. And now I'm not excited. I'm not really excited to see the next one. It's the same feeling like what happened with Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like once the whole Darth Vader situation came out, and then when his grandson was the guy, then it got like it went downhill, you know, because his grandson was like a bitch. But anyway.
I'm like the only person that likes the new Star Wars that I know. Like
it was cool, like you know, like the swords and the fighting and all of that. But you know, it's just I don't know.
My kids love it. I think again, like always say, movies are what they are. Everything doesn't have to be an Academy Award. So for what it was, I was like, hey, I fucks with it. But I always give everything thumbs up. I do. I like a lot of movies. I watch a lot of TV. I watch almost everything. I would venture to say, because I've recently seen Genesis like a couple weeks ago before you even started doing the Terminator series, because it's on, just so you already know, it's on Paramount Plus. So actually the last two movies are on Paramount Plus. So I'm okay with that. But talking about Salvation, again, I remember having the energy to go see this movie, being excited to go see this movie. But today, it just didn't keep my attention. Going back to rewatch it, I always will use this because my wife said it. It was not mine, so I got to give her the credit for saying it. Movies to me are about replay appeal. How often can I watch this movie and it's still good? I know executive consultant over here doesn't like when we did Set It Off. I can watch Set It Off every fucking week, right? I cannot watch this movie every week. I don't think I'll put this movie back on ever unless we're here on episode 500 and we decide to just go recap Terminator 4 again. You know what I mean? Thumbs down all the way. Thumbs down all the way. But I will give honorable mentions like it's a wrestling program to my girl, Kate Connors, because I love Ron Howard's daughter and almost everything she does. Shout out to my girl, what's her name? Corrigan. That was in there. Serena Corrigan. That's your I Killed Sirius Black. I loved her in this movie. Common continued to show us how bad of an actor he is, and he gets jobs because he's a rapper. But and I can't take them away from the cast as far as what they did. I just did the movie delivered for me as a person who likes a certain type of action movement excitement. All right. I didn't feel it. If I could give it more than a thumbs down, I would give it 5 thumbs down. And like Vic said down there at the bottom, I don't think I would recommend this movie to anybody. And I recommend going to see a lot of shit. And this isn't one of them. So executive.
I think casting Christian Bale as Batman is a great choice. I just thought he did a phenomenal job. I think he really knew the role. He knew how to play the role, and he plays the role so well that no one else has played him properly after it.
All facts.
Mostly. I don't like Christian Bale as John Connor. It didn't work for me. He just seems like he was just there, phoning it in for a lot in this movie. I just don't think it was casted well. I mean, Kate Brewster was all right, but besides that, it just didn't do it for me at all. The action sequences were visually stunning, however, just like it was nonsensical at times, and I just can't stand it. Like, kill him or be killed. I mean, you're a Terminator machine. Like, what are y'all doing? Why? That was one of the problems I had with the Resident Evil franchise, which I'm sure we'll do sooner or later. But it developed too much of a personality, and you're supposed to be a machine, and that's what made it scary at first, and that's what made it entertaining at first. However, the criteria for me is it more enjoyable than the Batman? The answer to that is hell no. I actually enjoyed the Batman more in this movie. The streak is broken. It is a thumbs down for me for this movie. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching us here at UPRE. Join us on Thursday for this monstrosity. We're going to watch The Hater.
Oh, God. I got to pay for this shit.
Our political satire. Vic will happily tell you how to download it.
I know.
Legally, ladies and gentlemen, download it.
I have a big TV. You can't do that on
and
big
then
TVs.
Next Tuesday, we're back here for Terminator Genesis. continuing. Hey, we only have 2 more movies for the Terminator franchise. Then here's a sneak peek, not sneak peek, it's a preview of what we're doing in the next movie franchise, which is none other than Mission Impossible. So, ladies and gentlemen, for Mike Nosh, for Hugh Sheen, I am the executive consultant. We'll be here next time for another episode of UPRE. Night, everybody.